Hello everyone, my name is Shapcap and today I'll be doing my very first ever unboxing video. I'll be unboxing the Greycat Industries PTV 140 scale kit model. This model is from JR Design and Fabrication, and this is their first of hopefully many more kit models to come. If you've been around Star Citizen for any amount of time, there's a pretty good chance you've seen some of JRD+F's work, but you may not be familiar with them. If you'll indulge me for just a moment, I'd like to tell you more about their work. They're based out of Scotland and are responsible for a lot of the real-world Citizen models we've seen, like the Saber Raven at CitizenCon 2947 and the Kraken at CitizenCon 2948, as well as the super-duper cool 1:1 scale Dragonfly that was also at CitizenCon 2948 in Austin, Texas. I've also noticed that they support community events like Paraverse and Con 42 in Europe as well. In addition to making cool ship models, they also make custom Star Citizen themed furniture and other items that look exactly like their counterparts in the verse, such as desks, kiosks, and mission boxes. They do amazing work, and I'm not only really happy to support them, but I'm kinda waiting to see what they surprise us with next. It's worth mentioning that they're also the only third-party vendor of Star Citizen items that's authorized by Cloud Imperium. So that's kinda cool. Alright, enough of that, back to the model. I just pre-ordered this model in April and I received it today, so it took about 2 months from pre-order to arrival. I bought it for a price of £50 or roughly $62 US. Shipping was a little more expensive than something I buy off of Amazon, but it's kind of to be expected when it's coming from overseas. It arrived in mint condition and it was very well packaged. Speaking of packaging, before we get to see what's in the box, let's talk about this beautiful box. It looks amazing. Some of you have probably already noticed, but it's modeled exactly like the Taketsu ship model boxes that are purchasable as flare for inside our hangars in-game. It's very cool, and I like to see the attention to detail. On the front, it's got the obvious cover. The side, it's got relevant branding, Star Citizen, RSI, JRD+F, Made in Britain. It's also got a gold box that's got some Jean writing in it, and I have no idea what it says, but if somebody does and wants to share in the comments, I'd appreciate it. On the back, we've got our model images, a little descriptor, and then a QR code. If you need help while you're assembling it, you can hit this QR code and it'll take you to JRD+F's website where they've got video tutorials on how to assemble the model properly, and that's very cool. On the bottom, we've got your typical disclaimer, another QR code, approved vendor, some more Jean writing, again, no idea what it says, and then you've got some warning signs like, warning, this is a model, and don't feed it to babies, and it's illegal to build this if you're under 16, I think. I don't know. Anywho, that's enough about the beautiful exterior of the box. Let's take a look at the inside of the box. Alrighty, let's crack this sucker open. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it sideways, give myself a little more room to put some of the stuff out here. Let's just get this off the table. Okay. Alright, we got a little layer of foam on top, very good, keeps things from rattling around. Alright, we've got an exploded parts diagram, kind of gives us a little bit of an idea of where parts go. Got a piece of 800 grit sandpaper, as well as some, looks like rub-on Greycat decals. Very cool little extra touch there. And one thing that I noticed kind of right off the bat is that this is a very well planned packaging system. So each piece of foam is precision cut out, you know, like laser cut, and the pieces in the foam fit really well. Additionally, the pieces are printed on this scaffolding system here, so that they stay protected while in transport and no pieces snap off. I really like the attention to detail and making sure that it gets to the purchaser in one piece. Now, I'd like to very quickly talk about the type of printing used. This is an SLA resin type print, which is much more of a high resolution print than FDM printing. And what I mean by high resolution is that it's more detailed. You can pick out little tiny details much easier than with traditional FDM printing, which is the more common type of 3D printing that hobbyists such as myself use. And another cool feature is that the prints come out super duper smooth with very small, very high detail features on them. For example, this is an FDM print that I did of an Ursa rover, and you can see that it's got all kinds of layer lines on it and printing oddities and things like that that you just don't see with a SLA print, which is great. I'm glad they spent the extra money to do that for us. Okay, so let's get to the actual parts themselves. We've got the main body of the Greycat. We've got the undercarriage / rock guard step bar piece. We've got the rear section. This is the section that goes behind the seats. We've got the seats themselves, 2 seats, makes sense, driver, passenger. We've got the front bumper assembly. We've got the roll bar that goes over the top of the seats to protect the drivers, or passengers, occupants, there you go, protect the occupants. We've got the top of the windshield piece. It's this piece right here. I never really noticed it in game, but there it is. That guy right there. It's like, oh, it's the grab bar. When you get in and you grab on. Duh. Very cool. And then we've got 4 rims. I call them wheels. Some people call them rims. But we've got 4 of them with struts or shock absorbers on them. You've got 4 tires. And what I'd like to point out about these tires briefly is that they're actually made of rubber. They're not plastic like the rest of the print, and that's kind of neat. I like the material change up. Not only does it give it a different texture, a different color, but it's a little more accurate. I wonder if it's space rubber. I don't know, future space rubber. Also, we've got the frame for the windscreen that the actual windscreen goes in, and then you've got the windscreen itself. Now this windscreen is actually made out of clear epoxy. I believe it's epoxy resin. I'm sorry, not epoxy. Clear resin, and it's totally clear. There's no haze or anything in it, and that's really cool that they actually included a clear piece instead of just leaving nothing or having a grayed out chunk. So, good on you. All right, well, there's no point in having a Greycat if you don't have any people to put in it. So here's the driver with a steering yoke already in his hand. So you just gotta plop him in the Greycat. And then we've got a second character. This can either be a passenger or part of the diorama if you put it in like a scene. Kneeling down, so they could be, you know, working on the tire or examining the surface of wherever they are. It's a nice little feature there. Also included is an additional steering yoke. So if you just want to have the Greycat without anybody in it, you can do so. Got a couple little more extra pieces in here. We've got a toolbox. Goes nicely with the character working. We've got a mission box, a little cargo box. And this box has the JRD+F logo on it, which is nice, a nice little touch. And this is exactly like the mission box you would pick up at like a Kovalex shipping kiosk. Then we've got 2 little extra bonus pieces, and I believe, hang on, let's get them out of here first. I believe one of these is pre-order only. I'm not sure about the dice, but I know the other one is. So here's a little fuzzy dice piece that you can hang from your windshield to give you that little extra cool vibe. Very nice touch. And then this is probably my favorite piece out of the entire kit. And I know that this was a pre-order bonus item, so if you pre-ordered, you got it. And unfortunately, if you didn't, I don't think you'll be able to get one. Well, at least one won't come with the kit. But it's a little tortoise. You got the little tortoise from Area 18. That's it. That's it right there. So you can paint your tortoise, stick him in your Greycat, and take him on all your adventures. And I love little attention to from the rubber tires to the clear windshield to the little tiny tortoise. I love stuff like that. So very cool and very well done, JRD+F. All right, so now when it comes time to assemble this bad boy, you're gonna need to do a little more than, you know, a snap together model. You're gonna have to take all the scaffolding off. You're gonna have to sand down the pieces. I'm not gonna get too into it because that's what the tutorial's for. But you're gonna have to sand down the little nubs from where the scaffold was attached. You're probably going to want to prime it and then paint it. And then when you actually stick the pieces together, it looks like some pieces will snap together, but I'd still recommend using some glue to make sure the whole thing doesn't totally fall apart if you happen to move it around. Now, as I build it, I'm planning on documenting the entire process from start to finish. But unfortunately for me, even though I got this today, I'm not going to be able to start on it for about a week and a half because I'm going on a business trip. So it'll be a bit before I put those videos up. Now, if you'd like to grab one of these for yourself, I will put the link to JRD+F's purchase page in the description below. The price has gone up since the pre-sale, so now it's up to 55 pounds or roughly 70 bucks. 70 bucks American. And make sure you pay attention to the shipping section because the price can fluctuate from $10 to $25 US depending on where in the world you live. Well, I think that about covers it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look to seeing you again when I start putting out the build videos. Again, my name is ShapCap. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.